Believe it or not, it's fairly common for the fearful avoidant attachment style to sabotage their own early dating experiences and future relationships once they're in them without realizing. And in particular, there are three things that you need to know now that you can start doing differently that will save you a lot of future heartache and wasted time. Here's the first one. You actually need to go into dating knowing your needs and knowing your non-negotiables. This may sound like a silly thing, but I often give the analogy that if you go into dating and you just say, I want to feel attracted to somebody and have a fun time, it's like going onto Indeed to apply for a job and you just pick the first 10 things that are listed on the page and say, oh, that could be fun. That might be interesting. You are going to reduce your chances astronomically of finding the right person you want to be with, just like with Indeed. You're going to reduce the chances astronomically of finding the right job where you are going to have career success and feel like you're thriving if you just are playing games, jumping on there, picking whatever pops up. So we need to know what our needs are when it comes to dating. What's important to you? What are your standards? What are the things you're truly looking for in terms of qualities of another person, traits, how you want them to show up in a relationship? And what are your non-negotiables? In other words, your complete deal breakers. By knowing these things ahead of time, you can then go into dating more intentionally and start vetting. And what vetting means is not sitting down on your very first date and asking somebody a laundry list of questions as if they are in a job interview. What vetting means is that you get to have your first date, see if there's a connection and chemistry, see if things are going smoothly, and then proceed to ask one or two meaningful questions per date that relate back to the things that are important for you to know. For example, if you know that for you, it is really important to make sure somebody is willing to grow and be interested in personal growth and evolve themselves, then you want to make sure you ask somebody, hey, I love personal growth. It's a big passion of mine. How do you feel about that? And vet for their answer. Okay. What they tell you is going to be really important. Number two, fearful avoidants need to communicate their needs early. This is one of the biggest places fearful avoidants go wrong. They go into relationships thinking they have to people please and win the other person over, and they forget to consider themselves. And that causes you to build a foundation on very weak ground. Because what's going to happen later is if you realize a couple months into dating, I have not communicated my needs much at all, and I'm just meeting the other person's needs and not actually getting many of mine met, then chances are it's because you never really shared what those needs were. And a lot of individuals go into dating thinking, okay, once I win the person over, then I'll start sharing about my needs, then I'll start communicating more openly. But it makes communication an uphill battle later on because somebody has a way that they're used to relating to you. They have gotten to know you without doing that. And so you're basically going to have to backtrack later. And the other big risk that you run here on point number 2 of 3 is that by not communicating your needs early, there is a really big chance that you feel like you entered into a one-way relationship. You're meeting the other person's needs, you're trying to learn what they need and want, and you're not actually making space for yourself. And not only is that a form of self-betrayal that will diminish your own self-trust and trust in others, but on top of that, you'll end up in a situation where you feel burnt out. And this is where fearful avoidants often leave relationships all of a sudden. And for the other person on the receiving end, it can feel like a rug pull. It can feel like, whoa, why did I not see this coming? I thought everything was fantastic. So it's important that you recognize any part that you have in that, because maybe you have a history of not communicating your needs and thus not feeling fulfilled, because people are not mind readers. And by not sharing who you are and what's important to you, you don't give yourself the opportunity to get all of the riches of a relationship. Now, before I get to point number 3, I want to let you know we're doing this just for this month, just for a limited time. If you want to check out our course, How to Master the Dating Stage of Relationships, for free, you can. And with that 7-day free trial access, you actually get access to the Attachment Styles and Sex course for life. This is all about different attachment styles, their patterns around sex and intimacy, and some of the big things that you really need to know. And that course is a $200 value, and you get to literally keep it for life. And it comes with a lot of detailed information that might surprise you. So I'll put the link down below if you're curious. Last but not least, fearful avoidants need to make sure that they are investing in healthy vulnerability and reciprocity of vulnerability. The truth about fearful avoidant attachment styles is that often you find yourself getting really good at drawing vulnerability out of other people and making them feel seen and heard and known because you ask the right questions and you're super present. But then You probably don't find yourself sharing the things you actually feel vulnerable about. Sure, you may share things that seem deep, but oftentimes they're not the things that make you feel vulnerable. And so you'll probably find yourself feeling like you make others feel really seen and known and understood, but you may find that you're lacking in the reciprocity of that. Maybe you find that you don't feel like other people deeply know you or deeply consider you or your interests or know what makes you tick. And that's up to you as well to make sure that you are sharing. All of those things are important steps, anyways, on the path to becoming more securely attached. So they're excellent habits to get into and to work on, even if they feel a little scary at first. So that's it for today. I hope you enjoyed this video. Check out that free course that you get to keep access to for life down below. And if you enjoyed this video, like, share, subscribe to this channel so you don't miss any of our future content that comes out daily about all attachment styles. Thank you for watching.